Of course, you know I prosecute in the 4th Circuit, the Dayburn Circuit. This is our sister circuit. But we all hurt for what y'all went through that day and for what y'all still are going through. And the last thing I'll say is this, because this is not about me, Your Honor, so I don't really need to say much other than we stand with you. And I have no doubt that despite everything that happened, these ladies and gentlemen of law enforcement, if something goes off right now, they would be exiting this building to go into harm's way to protect us. And that is something that is not lost on us. We appreciate it, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, please record.
Yes, sir.
Thinking about this and looking through this, I would hate for any of us to make the mistake this was somehow just accidental act of rage, because it was not. You can look at the facts and look and see what was done and what's been said, and you can identify Farrah Turner as a victim that was by intent of Fred Hopkins. He said enough. You've heard what he said about her. He was upset. She was the one that was coming in. She was the one that had the search warrant. She was the one that was going to enter into his home and talk to his children and possibly bring what all we don't know to light. But there was definitely something there. There was something there that caused him to focus on Farrah. Other than that, this does not make any sense. Why would something like this happen? Why would he just go and start shooting everybody? It's something we will never know what it was, but it turned the tide that day, because you heard them testify about how they've been out to Fred and Cheryl's house many, many times. Those children were getting into trouble all the time, right and left. They were there, and they came to that house many times, and there was nothing like this happen. Nothing. Why on this occasion? And why Farrah? Nobody else was shot twice. He came out from his hiding place under the front of the house to make sure he shot her twice. Shot her execution style. He meant for her to die. And anything, you've heard how this has affected so many members of the family and of the community. What a jewel she was in the community. Nothing short of a maximum sentence would satisfy this at all, in my opinion. Anything else would be like a slap in the face. We were seeking the death penalty on this, and I think if anybody deserves the death penalty, it might be Mr. Hopkins. But because of a lot of the factors and how long it takes things to move in the judicial system sometimes, and his age, getting older very quickly, we didn't want him to escape judgment by us having to write on an indictment and all process due to the death of the defendant. We didn't want to see that happen at all. We wanted him to go out of here as he is a convicted murderer of police. He's pled to it, the plea's been accepted, and you know the law, 2 law enforcement officers are killed. Either one killed, you could have gone for the death penalty. So we had 2 we could go for the death penalty on. You could kill 2 people together in the same situation, same scenario, also get the death penalty for that. We had what we needed to go for the death penalty. We just didn't have enough time. If Mr. Hopkins was younger, if he was 39, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But the thing that's bothered me the whole time, I've listened intently while I wasn't talking, and I haven't heard something that I could keep waiting for. And I was waiting and waiting, and I thought we were going to hear it in Aiken. I thought it was going to hear it. Nope. Backed away. Thought we were approaching it again. Nope. Didn't happen. And so here I am, lost with what I would think, in my way I'm built and the way I'm made, is that you have remorse for things you do bad. You have a feeling of guilt that you have to deal with. But I have heard absolutely no shred of remorse in this. I've heard absolutely no acceptance of responsibility whatsoever in this. no feelings of guilt. Just taking out the trash. Taking out the trash. We've had people here to testify that he said the night beforehand that he was going to shoot the police. They came to his house. He was going to blow them away. And that's exactly what he did. And he was prepared. When they came and knocked on the door, he was prepared. And he started shooting. And everybody in law enforcement thought, because the tactical decision you usually make is for higher ground, they thought somebody was up in the second floor shooting. So they peppered that area tremendously with bullets. But he was down right in front door where it walks down into that sunken den light with an oak desk around him protecting him. He could look out that door and look down 300, 400, 500 yards down straight away. He had an absolutely perfect shooting alley, and he had the skills to utilize it. And trying to say he thought he was under attack, Terrence Caraway doesn't look like a North Vietnamese guy to me at all. But he shot him, and how's he going to tell from a distance? They got a gun, a handgun, and they're going to be a direct detriment or unsafe for him when he could pick them off at any time. This was one of the coldest things I've ever seen. I've seen things before in cases where people have just tremendous rage or problems, but this was just cold. Nothing but cold. He was going to shoot them. They come to my house, I'm going to shoot them. They send more. They got to come down this alleyway straight in front of me to get to my house. I'm going to shoot some more. And that's what he did. And he would have continued to be doing that if Helen Kane had not talked him out of it and got him to come out and lay his weapon down. But there's no reason on earth that he had to shoot Terrence Caraway other than Terrence is having to show up in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing what they all do, these brave men and women, and that is they guard their brothers and sisters. They don't hesitate. The talk comes out, they go. They respond. And we don't want to dishonor them today by giving some sentence that anybody could complain would be too light. Anybody could complain that that's not the most you could get. And look what he did. And y'all, that's why I'm here, and I am asking you to convict him of murder for life on Terrence Caraway, and convict him of murder for life consecutive on Farrah Turner. And for the remaining 5 that were shot, there's 30 years on each of their accounts that you can charge him with. And we're going to ask you to do that too, and to make them all consecutive. Nothing else would come close to touching this, Your Honor. Nothing else would come close to touching the horrendous things that he did to keep our safekeepers under fire. And they were just simply doing their job. Simply doing their job. But he's shown no remorse. He's shown no want for forgiveness. He's shown nothing but just completely hostile demeanor. He doesn't care. He wants to try to blame Mercer on killing Farrah, calling her a dead man, a dead woman walking. What an affront to this family. After all this, that the murderer of your child, your sister, your friend, your colleague, your work colleague, they're just dead men walking. How crass is that? I could sit up here and, Your Honor, I could rant and rave, and I could give you 100 more reasons why nothing less than a life sentence would not be suitable at all. But you've been doing this a long time, just as I have. And you know, when it gets right down to it, we do our best that we can, and we try. But really, it's lots of times it's just completely out of our hands to give justice. We can't reach it. We can't touch it. We strive for it. I'm going to ask you, Judge, I'm going to ask you to reach to the top shelf on this one and strive as hard as you can. Because you know all these facts, and you've been doing this for a long time. And give consecutive life sentences and consecutive attempted murder sentences. Thank you.
Thanks, Solicitor.